I think the greatest deception of this generation is the fact that y'all still think this is about black versus white, and it's not about light versus darkness. Y'all still think this is about race and not spirituality. It has always been about light versus darkness, holiness versus wickedness, people who are walking in good versus those walking in evil. There is a great line, and God is really drawing a line saying, choose this day who you.
So a white woman defends her child from being bullied in a park, is recorded by a man who was arrested for what? And y'all are outraged at the mom for using a word?
Yes, in 2025, if someone told me that I'll be sitting here talking about race, I would say it's a lie. Now, the situation is turning into something else extremely concerning. I've been talking about Camilo for about 4 days now on this channel. Shiloh here is training on social media for simply defending her child. A lot of people are getting annoyed, putting out videos upon videos about the situation because she's raising money. She want to relocate because she's getting a lot of trade from different people for using the N word.
I think the greatest deception of this generation is the fact that y'all still think this is about black versus white, and it's not about light versus darkness. Y'all still think this is about race and not spirituality. It has always been about light versus darkness, holiness versus wickedness, people who are walking in good versus those walking in evil. There is a great line, and God is really drawing a line saying, choose this day who you will serve. Are you going to be on the side where you serving God, or are you going to be on the side where you serving the devil? There's this story about this fence. There's a guy who's at the middle of this fence, and on one side of the fence there is the enemy, on the other side of the fence there is God. And the enemy is telling him, hey, if you come over to my side, I can promise you wealth, I can promise you fame, I can promise you everything that you ever desired. And then God is saying, no, if you come to this side, I could offer you eternity, I could offer you peace, joy, wisdom, I can offer you so much more. But the guy is like, honestly, I like what both of y'all are offering. How about I don't choose either and I just sit right here on the middle of the gate? I could dabble in over here when I get ready, dabble over there when I get ready. And then eventually the time runs out and his light is snuffed out. He runs out of time. And he opens his eyes and he realizes he's surrounded in the presence of the enemy by spiritual darkness. And he goes, no, wait. I didn't choose this. I said, I didn't choose either of you. I didn't choose you. Why am I on this side? And the devil goes, I created the fence. So I'm saying all this to say, choose this day who you're going to serve, because you cannot afford to be indecisive. This is not the season of indecision. This is the season where you choose this day who you are going to serve, because this is not about race anymore. That was a principality that happened in a different time. Now we're in a different season where the principality is about spirituality. It's about good versus evil. And you know, everything is out in the open, both wickedness and goodness, wide out in the open. There's a revival, okay? A revival taking place of God's people. But there's also an exposure of wickedness like we have never seen it before. It's right in our faces. It's so blatant. It's so audacious that you gotta know that there's a great divide in the earth today. And if you are on the wrong side, you are going to be mad. So to my brothers and sisters in Christ, if you are hearing this, choose this day who you gonna serve. You cannot afford to be indecisive, to be dibbling and dabbling in every little bit of everything. No. God is saying, do away with your idols, do away with your sin, and choose this day who you gonna serve, because you cannot afford to sit on the fence.
I believe you had hung. Sometimes I often agree with people when I see that they are inspirational. Now, taking a look at this video, I want you to understand exactly what is happening.
So a white woman defends her child from being bullied in a park, is recorded by a man who was arrested for what? And y'all are outraged at the mom for using a word? A word. Y'all are doxing and threatening a woman because she used a word, to the point where she needs to ask for help to relocate her family. And this is the world we live in. A mom defending a word hurts y'all so much. A word that y'all use every day. A word you use in music every day hurts you so much that you decide, a mom defending herself. And then the person that recorded it, where's the parents at to the child? Have they came out? Have they told us why their child was in the park by himself? No. Y'all won't hold that person accountable. Y'all just want the kids to run around and tear shit up. This is what I'm talking about. And I'm glad that white folks see this shit and are helping this lady. Let's get out.
So you mean to tell me a little child, a little boy, goes into somebody's backpack at the playground and takes out, it looks what appears to be a fruit pouch, and the mother of the owner of the backpack sees the child, calls him the N-word, tries to hit him, I guess. And then you have somebody at the playground seeing the whole thing unfold. And he starts recording the lady, and she starts calling him the N-word. A little boy. He looks like he's like 5 or 6. And you mother go out and support this lady, giving her hundreds of thousands of dollars on a fundraiser website because she's in the fear of her life. How does that work? Did y'all see this video?
The child?
The fuck you talking
Did you
about?
call the child? So that gives you the right to call the child, 5-year-old, the N-word.
How many times have y'all seen a kid go into somebody else's backpack or something, touching somebody else's stuff on the playground, or they know it ain't theirs, but it's like they just curious, they want to touch it, they want to see what's in the bag. And then if there's a parent, you're like, "Oh, honey, what are you doing?" Like, "Oh, that's not your stuff." You just address them in the normal way, like a parenting way, a loving way, not like, "What the F are you doing, you little NIGGA?" And so all that was warranted for whatever he took out the backpack. It looked as if it was a fruit pouch. I don't know what else he probably could have touched or took out or whatever, but it's like she just was probably ready to call the little boy out his name. And then I give kudos to the guy who stood up for the child. I don't know if it was his dad or whatever, but that's just crazy to me that this lady, all out in the open, holding her own child, teaching them to stand, is calling this little kid the N-word. Like, it's just crazy to me. And if you haven't heard, her name is Shiloh Hendrix. It's her name. She lived in Minnesota, somewhere in Minnesota. But, like, what is going on? Like, it's clearly a little kid. Not even a teenager, not even a grown person. A little child under the age of 10. And this is how you want to treat them. Can't wait to say some negative shit. Can't wait to just call somebody out their damn name. But now you're fearing for your life. You want to move. You need help relocate. And then what kills me is these comments, bruh. They kill me. Y'all kill me for this. Y'all crazy. Crazy. It's some sick people in this world. Sick people. So what we need to do is run it up for him. We need to find the parents to this little boy. We need to run it up for him and his family. Because this is insane. It's just crazy. This lady almost raised $400,000 in overnight. And what else is crazy? I was on this on Instagram or whatever, and the little Miss Michigan girl, she was furious as well because she's just like, I'm trying to raise money for Flint, Michigan. She tries to do fundraisers.
What get me offended is the fact that people are taking these two situations, putting together. They are taking Karmelo and this, putting as the same thing, because we had people of different colors. Now it is like competition, raising money. They are now setting a GoFundMe for this other kid, this black kid. Yes, I decided to allow this video to this level so you can understand exactly what is happening on both sides. We have seen people coming out to support this lady. We have seen others supporting the kid. At a certain point, when I look at a situation like this, race-related topics always turn out to be something else. And to me, it gets me irritated when I see it. I don't want to talk about race issues, but when I see a situation like this, I'm forced to. People are calling out, oh, conservatives are supporting this lady. Look into the situation. Now, they want to create a GoFundMe. Black people want to create a GoFundMe In fact, Libras, I should say it like that to support the other side. This lady raised money because she want to relocate. She's receiving a lot of messages, thread. In fact, a lot is happening to her. So she want to relocate. Some people say maybe this was just an arrangement between the two. The guy filming the video. They just had to make people feel like something was going on.
Worst possible interpretation. Austin is a racist, which, by the way, there is zero support for. Some left-wing loons got that going on X, and I hope you all face defamation lawsuits. There's zero support for that. But let's just go with the worst case thing you could imagine, where Austin Metcalf said something racist. No one's alleging that. And that Karmelo Anthony got upset and said, yeah, I'm not leaving. Serious bodily harm. If that is not what's about to happen to you. Here is the police affidavit in support of the arrest. Anthony later told responding officers he was defending himself, explaining, quote, he put his hands on me.
Art, I want to put this in perspective for you, Art. Karmelo Anthony is 160 pounds. Rest in peace. Hunter is 2.
Yes, Dr. Ma is crazy. If you're not subscribed, please endeavor to do that. And if possible, share the video.
My phone out my hand, try to grab my bag, try to throw me out. The media is making you think it's only one. But guess what, Art? I've been text messaged by eyewitnesses. I have received text messages from eyewitnesses. And you know what they told me, Art? They said both brothers tried to jump Karmelo. Both brothers tried to jump Karmelo. This was not a one-on-one fight.
That's the only thing.
Has been overwhelming. The lies and their amplification.
This is not going to end. Right is right and wrong is wrong. All good.
If you see any clips after this, that is just for the YouTube algorithm.
What if he says self-defense?
There's no self-defense. The kids in here and resolve this issue is called conflict resolution.
Again, the evidence is still coming in.
This is definitely a self-defense case because it always is one until you look at the facts.
Because she's fearful of what might happen to her.
Followers for anything, and then the
Registration Act is
talking about this man, Kilmer.
My summary of the first 100 days is that
if film and TV productions continue to
first term, and you will be very.
Somebody has to say it, so let me be crystal clear.
Girl, we could have a whole conversation without.